The year is 1421, and the largest fleet ever assembled is cutting through open ocean. 500 ships, 28,000 sailors, treasure vessels so enormous they dwarf anything Europe has ever built. And at the helm, Admiral Zheng He, the most powerful explorer in the history of the world. He has already reached Arabia, East Africa, Southeast Asia. He has brought back giraffes for the emperor and demonstrated beyond any doubt that China can project power anywhere on earth. But then, the order comes to stop. The emperor dies. A new court takes power. Within a generation, China burns its own fleet and bans ocean-going ships entirely. Zheng He never reaches the Americas. Columbus does, 70 years later. And everything you know about the modern world follows from that sequence. But what if it hadn't? Historian Edward Dreer, in his definitive study of Zheng He's voyages, notes that the admiral's fleet was technologically capable of transoceanic travel. The ships carried enough provisions. The navigational knowledge existed. The only thing missing was political will. And political will, unlike technology, can change in an instant. Imagine the order never comes. Imagine Zheng He turns east. By 1423, his ships make landfall somewhere along the Pacific coast, likely present-day Mexico or California. They are not arriving to conquer. The Ming expeditions were never purely military. They were diplomatic missions, displays of Chinese civilization designed to bring foreign rulers into a tributary relationship with the emperor. The Aztec Empire is not yet at its height. The Inca are still consolidating the Andes. The societies Zheng He encounters are sophisticated, stratified, and politically complex. Not easy targets for domination, but potential partners in a tribute network. Scholar Gavin Menzies argued controversially that Chinese contact with the Americas may have occurred before Columbus. His evidence has been disputed, but his core observation stands. The Ming fleet had every capability to make such a contact possible. What changes? First, the Columbian exchange never happens the way you know it. That catastrophic transfer of disease, smallpox, measles, influenza, that killed an estimated 90% of indigenous Americans after 1492, is replaced by a Chinese contact. China had its own epidemic history, different pathogens, different outcomes. The demographic collapse that made European colonization possible simply does not occur on the same scale. No demographic collapse means no power vacuum. No power vacuum means no plantation economy. No plantation economy means the transatlantic slave trade never finds its economic engine. The entire architecture of American slavery rests on the destruction of indigenous populations. Remove that destruction and you remove the foundation. Second, the Pacific becomes a Chinese lake. Trade flows west, not east. The wealth of the Americas, gold, silver, agricultural knowledge, flows toward China, not Spain. The Ming dynasty, already the wealthiest civilization on Earth, becomes wealthier still. The economic gravity of the planet shifts permanently toward Asia. Historian Kenneth Pomeranz wrote that the gap between European and Asian economic power in 1400 was far smaller than we assume. A Chinese-led contact with the Americas might have closed that gap permanently or reversed it entirely. Europe still exists. It still develops, but it develops as a peripheral zone, not the center of a global empire. The English, Spanish, and Portuguese spend the next 2 centuries competing for influence in a world already organized around Chinese networks. Your world today looks unrecognizable. The language of global commerce might be Mandarin. The dominant legal and philosophical frameworks might be Confucian. The map on your wall might center on the Pacific, not the Atlantic. And somewhere in a history book, there might be a footnote about a Genoese sailor who tried to reach Asia by sailing west and found a continent already in contact with the most powerful civilization on Earth. The year is 1421, and the largest fleet ever assembled is cutting through open ocean. In our timeline, it turns back. In another, it keeps going. And the world that follows belongs to the sea that Zheng He crossed first.